just within the last month. Anyway, so welcome back everybody. You're watching the Premier League Season 3. My name is Triumph-Man and I will be casting this match between Pulse on the Radiant and Fnatic Raid Call on the Dire. Now, as I was saying earlier, these two teams have met, I believe, a total of about 7 times in the last 4 months or so. And Fnatic have only won 2 of those games. However, only 2 of those 7 games have been within the last month, within living memory, and both of those matches have gone to Pulse. So Fnatic are going to be the underdogs here most likely, and are going to have a lot to prove against Pulse, who just seem to be getting better and better most nights. And I see somebody's name did not change there, so that's going to be a bit painful. Anyway, we do have the Darkseer first banned by Pulse, and they are likely, Mini handles most of the banning by himself here, the drafting and stuff like that, and it's likely he's going to ban the Dirge, the Undying as well, because he doesn't like it. He really hates playing against it, and most of Pulse also hate playing against Dirge, and it comes down to their experiences in the Star Ladder finals. But now the first ban for Fnatic, what are they going to try and knock out here? Could see Templar Assassin removed. Could be see stuff like Batrider as well removed. Also, of course, Jakira, all prime material to get first banned here. However, Fnatic, they're going to take their time here and decide on what they want to get rid of. By the way, JK up the top there, I'm pretty sure is Hanny. So just keep that in mind. I know some people in the chat are already shouting out, where is Hanny, where is Hanny? I'm pretty sure that JK is Hanny. Normally plays under that name. And the first ban, it will be the Bounty Hunter. Now, this has been happening fairly frequently. The Bounty Hunter ban against aggressive teams like Pulse, just because it allows them to get a really crazy rolling start and even recover from a bad start. They get some good track kills down. I should mention also that Mini's Wisp is also quite fearsome, so Fnatic might decide to get rid of that as well. Not a bad choice either. It would be a fairly good respect ban against the Mini. And there we go. There's the Batrider getting banned. Of course, he is very, very ridiculously good. Also very strong in the mid game. Firefly causes a lot of damage, and once you start spreading around that sticky napalm, and they banned the Fnatic, banned the Dirge. This is going to give Mini the access to the Wisp if he wants. And then I expect Fnatic might try and counter. If he goes for Wisp first, I think Fnatic might try and counterpick and go after the Chaos Knight just to keep that away. But of course, there are plenty of other heroes that work quite nicely with the Wisp. And it's more about the Wisp coordination than anything else. But Pulse will decide to go for the Jakiro first. They'll just get their very solid, hard support down. And now Fnatic have the option to pick up a combo here. That said, I'm not sure how aggressive they might play. They might just, you know what, let's just sit back. Let's just sit back and let Era farm, play defensive, make sure Era gets farmed, and then go for the game in the late game. I think Pulse are the most likely the ones who are going to play super aggressive here, because that's more of their style.
10 seconds remaining.
Still taking their time here.
5 seconds
Definitely.
remaining.
They could go for a temp if they want to. If they're okay with letting the Wisp through, they could just go, you know what? Let's pick up something strong like a Templar Assassin, and let's pick up a or they could go for the Disruptor. Disruptor, of course, a great counter pick against Wisp. You're not worried about the Wisp combo. If you don't want to pick up the Wisp combo, but you don't want to ban it either, you can also just pick the Disruptor, and of course, when the Wisp flies in, it's very easy just to disrupt whoever is brought in. So Chaos Knight comes in, or Tiny comes in, and Wisp comes in to port in. You just basically disrupt and send that guy back to where he came from. And there we go. They go for the Templar Assassin instead, who is incredibly powerful in that mid-game phase. She does take a little bit of time to get rolling. She can't really gank before level 6 all that efficiently, and even then she wants to hit level 7, level 8, and if at all possible, just sit down and farm up that Blink Dagger to give her some mobility. But they decide to go, there we go. There's that combo I was talking about. However, Fnatic, they do have a good combo on the form Disruptor. However, if they're on the ball, Pulse can try and avoid that, just because when they hit the deck, when they port in, Chaos Knight can immediately hit his Phantasm. Obviously, this is going to limit the amount of times they can gank, and also it will force him to spend a little bit of time shifting. You won't have that defensive split available. Of course, he can dodge spells with his illusion split. However, I should also point out, though, that it still gives him a lot of mobility, and it's going to force Fnatic to play the game fairly close to the chest. And by that I mean they're going to have to play fairly tightly grouped up. They don't really want to split up. If they split up, that really gives Pulse a lot of room to move. Once people start isolating themselves, it really gives Chaos Knight and Wisp room to move in and jump in behind and get ganks set up. It's very easy to pick off people. I'm just wondering if we may see and Invoker pick up here as well from Pulse. It might be something that Fnatic want to ban if they're not going to pick up, because Invoker, especially if you're going to run an aggressive lane like Chaos Knight, Wisp, and the Jakiro, Invoker is a great way to ensure that offensive tri-lane gets kills, because if it doesn't get kills, it falls behind very quickly. I should mention though that they may well just go for a dual mid. That is quite possible. The way that Pulse play this game, they may just go Jakiro, Chaos Knight mid. Wisp will focus on stacking and pulling the jungle to get a decent amount of farm in the early mid game. He'll go into the mid game. He should get that fairly that 10-15 minute mechanism. And on the other hand, Jakiro will take most of the hard support. Chaos Knight will dual mid with him, and this is something I've seen from them, and it's also really effective against solo mid heroes like Templar Assassin. They'll have enough DOTs to get rid of her refraction, they'll have enough stun as well to really threaten her. So I like the draft that Pulse have at the moment. It's a pretty decent choice. However, of course, there is that Disruptor on the horizon, so we'll see how they handle that. But Pulse definitely play Wisp slightly different to how a lot of other teams run it, where the Wisp is often the very, very hard support. The hero does most of the warding, most of the counter warding, most of the babysitting. In Pulse's case, they try and get Wisp farmed up, just because if he gets that early mech, that early Ono Shadows, he makes Chaos Knight that much harder to kill. And it's not a bad choice, especially if you're not drafting a Chen as well. If you're drafting a Chen, well, then you can rely on Hand of God, you can rely on the mech in the middle of the fight from Chen. It's fairly easy just to let Wisp handle most of the support roles, but in this case, I think that's how Pulse is going to run this. However, continuing on the ban side, we do have Leshrac banned next by Pulse. Looks like they're just getting rid of that nasty stun AoE combo. Of course, Leshrac is good in just about any lineup, and then we go Fnatic deciding to ban out the Broodmother, and that is something Pulse will be looking for. Is a suicide solo at the moment. They could do with that indeed, because they'll probably have the dual mid. They might even go with aggressive. Oh well, no. Actually, I don't think they will. They might have gone with aggressive dual lane if they had something like Dirge available, who could really make that dual lane hard to kill. However, I think in this case it'll be Jakiro, Chaos Knight dual mid, Wisp in the jungle. He will barely touch his lane, and they will pick up two solos here, two heroes who are fairly good at looking after themselves in a solo role. Now this could be something like an Invoker in the bottom lane, and then say a Windrunner in the safe lane. I mean, in the aggressive lane, but we'll see. Chen has been banned out. They may actually ban the Enchantress as well. They are probably worried about something basically jumping the top lane and pushing down the tower really, really quickly. Enigma is also not bad for this either, but Enchantress and Chen are the two #1 problems. In fact, I think Enchantress is probably a big one. With the right creep, if she gets a pair of Furbolgs, it's very easy for her to jump out with them and knock down a 2-minute tower, especially if they're up against a weak lane, which is what most suicide solo heroes present, a weak lane. Just waiting now on the 4th ban here from Fnatic. They could indeed work in a jungler if they wanted to. I think we're going to see... I'm not actually sure. It depends where they put Era really at the moment. Trixie likely to be taking that Tidehunter in the solo bottom lane. I often see that from Trixie. He'll probably sit in the solo bottom lane. He won't get much farm. That much farm. He'll be a little bit worried about getting jumped by that hero, by the Wisp and whatever hero that's down there. But in this case, it's not as bad as it could be. If the Jakiro and Chaos Knight are bottom, he probably will spend most of his time roaming. He won't bother trying to farm because he's likely to just get picked off. But if it's a hero that probably can't kill Titan at a 1v1, or just mostly just harm him a little bit, and it's just Wisp in the jungle, unlikely to jump out behind him, then he may just decide to sit there and farm. But Trixie tends to spend a lot of time roaming and ganking. He doesn't really sit in his lane a lot when he plays the Tidehunter in the suicide lane. And Windrunner will be banned out next by Fnatic. There we go, picking off another suicide solo here. Beastmaster is another option. They might even abandon it. They might just go, you know what, screw that. Let's just get somebody else to jungle and just give that lane away. That is definitely a possibility. We've seen things like Beastmaster who says, you know what, let me just go and work on an ancient stack. Or you'll see stuff like Batrider or even Darkseer sometimes go, you know what, that lane's too dangerous. Let me just go and jungle. And it's a strategy that can work, provided you don't have something too dangerous farming away there. At the moment, Fnatic don't really have something that poses a huge threat like that. And I think it's something that Pulse will make, a decision Pulse will make on the fly. Now they could, I don't think they'll pick up the Lone Druid. Lone Druid will have, he'll be too slow. And honestly, I'm not a huge fan of Suicide Solo Lone Druid. It is a very, very tough role for him, especially when the lanes turn out to be quite aggressive. Or if there's a jungler in there, and just a couple of good stuns in the lane, it's very difficult for Lone Druid to do his job in the suicide lane. Now the 5th ban from Pulse. I'm just wondering if we'll see Enchantress knocked out here. At the moment I'm going to say actually Pulse, they could run the Enigma in the suicide lane. That's also something, and not only would it let them run in the suicide lane, but also would give them a decent AoE, it's another big AoE spell to use against stuff like to counter-initiate off against stuff like Disruptor, Tidehunter, and of course if you get that Blink Dagger he can initiate quite nicely, or at least go in second, just instantly blink in after Chaos Knight starts up a fight and gets everybody focused on him. Of course Chaos Knight, once he reality rifts in, throws at a stun, and then Phantasms, he causes an absolute mess in the middle of a team fight. Just waiting to see what the fifth and final ban here from Pulse is, though. They are chewing into their, both teams in fact, chewing heavily into their reserve time. In fact, let me just check the chat, make sure nobody's... And it's going to be Tinker. Okay, that is an interesting choice to ban. I guess they're worried about the global aspect of Tinker. It can be very annoying. Also, Tinker really ruins early team fights, early pushes, because of course, basically, he maxes March of Machines early, and then you go in, you try and fight under attack, he just throws down March of Machines, just spams it. And that causes a ridiculous amount of damage. It's very, very painful. It's very difficult to push in against a March of Machines, or even just team fight while March of Machines is around, especially when it's maxed out early on. So Pulse going to ban that out. That said, we don't see a lot of Tinker as of late. I think a lot of people are a little bit worried about the ganking aspect, and especially when you've got something like Chaos Knight and Wisp. He can't really use his global aspect all that much. He'll teleport to a lane to try and push it, and then Wisp and Chaos Knight will show up and basically kill him. He'll teleport lane, start spamming March Machines, and Wisp and Chaos Knight will come from behind and just jump him and take him down. Fnatic, though, to ban out their fifth hero here, just someone's disconnected. I think he's actually just trying to change his nickname here. It may or may not work now that he's already entered the game. We'll see. But it's that guy there who has a relatively unpronounceable name. Well, I can't pronounce it anyway. The fifth ban, though, Rubik. And it looks like, I guess they could have run Rubik. Rubik could have worked as a solo mid. Or rather, not a solo mid, as a safe lane solo. And he definitely has plenty of great spells there to steal.
10 seconds remaining.
Of course, Titan's Ravage, his fast up Disrupt, has got plenty of great spells. Glimpse, his ult, even the Telekinetic Wall, used at the right moment. The Kinetic Field is really, really powerful when used at the right moment. And of course, when used in conjunction with heroes like Chaos Knight, it's incredibly great. And Keeper of the Light, the final pick, the fourth pick here for Pulse. I really don't know about this one. This is likely to be the Suicide Soul, and basically Wagamama's going to play the Keeper of the Light. He's going to take this to the Suicide Soul. He'll sit up there spamming Illuminate and Chakra on himself just to try and get a bit of farm up. And then if things do get roughed, of course, once he gets level 2, he can duck into the jungle, start stacking, and then start just trying to knock down those creep camps with Illuminate. It is a very effective way of catching up on levels if you ever fall behind as Keeper. Now, the fourth pick here from Fnatic. They could do with a secondary support here, assuming Tidehunter. Tidehunter is likely to be the Suicide Solo, so I don't think he'll be any sort of support. And there we go. Shadow Demon being picked up. An interesting choice. Disrupt saves are also... Disrupt saves at the right moment are really, really strong, especially if Chaos Knight drags somebody out. Basically, Shadow Demon can just instantly disrupt them. Just throw down the Disrupt and then get them out. Just get the heat off them for a few seconds. Buy time for Tidehunter to move into counterattack. Buy time for Disruptor to work in a glimpse. That sort of stuff. So we'll see how the Shadow Demon goes in, but at the same time, Shadow Demon really has fallen off the list of most pick supports, just because we've had stuff like Disruptor show up, Jakiro of course has been buffed, and Shadow Fiend. Okay, I think I've seen a fairly similar lineup here from Pulse. Shadow Fiend's going to be in the safe lane, Keeper of Light with Wagamama will be playing that, he'll be in the Suicide lane, Wisp will be mostly jungling and pulling, he won't provide that much support to Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend will be left to his own devices, likely against a Tidehunter in this situation. Should be okay against that. Chaos Knight and Jakiro will take the dual mid, and they will try and shut down Templar Assassin, who will likely need some backup there, which may or may not come in the form of the Shadow Demon or the Disruptor. We'll see.
10 seconds remaining.
Although that said, she honestly could do with a very good power stun to keep her safe. Unfortunately, they have not picked up any supports like that. And now the fifth pick here. Okay, Fnatic, the final pick is going to be a Slardar. That is an interesting choice there. I think Slardar is going to be taking the safe lane. They're going to be trying to farm him up. Maybe get him an early Blink Dagger, stuff like that. Get him a bit of early farm. They may actually put Slardar in the mid with the Shadow Demon. And then put Templar Assassin in the safe lane and try and farm her up there. And of course, she doesn't really care about Illuminate spam or anything. She can in fact quite easily go one-on-one with Keeper of Light. But at the same time, Slardar, definitely a different choice. But of course, if Chaos Knight tries to Reality Rift him in close, Slardar can of course just throw down a stun and then sprint out of trouble. He might take a bit of flak, but at the very least, he's going to be fairly difficult to kill, especially if Shadow Demon is going to be backing up and he's going to be on the ball with Disrupt saves there. But we'll see how Fnatic run this one. definitely a slightly different set of picks there. But let's call the players. So playing for the Radiant side, we have Mini on the Wisp, no surprise. There we go. Wagamama, keep it light. Adam Scramble on Shadow Fiend. The whoever the hell that is, it's not Fishbone. I forget who the last player was. We've got Chaos Knight there as himself. Fishbone playing Jakiro, of course. Fishbone. It's probably no, I'm not sure who it is actually. Never mind. Fnatic though. Trixie is going to be playing the Tidehunter. Looks like they're going for a bit of a sweep up top. I think actually going for a tri-lane. Not sure yet. Tidehunter still could be this. In fact, those items, that says to me, that says suicide lane to me, or solo mid. In this case, I think suicide lane. We have Trixie playing Tidehunter, No Tail playing Disruptor, Error on the Templar Assassin, and Fly playing the Shadow Demon. Hanny playing the Slider there. And Shadow Demon has opened up with an early smoke. Trixie going to the bottom lane now. Shadow Demon going to the mid. Looks like Error will be taking the mid, and he has actually gone for a bit of an eco build there, saving up 250 gold for that early bottle. And there we go. Cal starting the mid, likely to be backed up by Jakiro in a second. Welcome over to the suicide lane. Shadow Fiend will be mostly soloing down here. Yes, there is a Wisp over here, but Wisp will be looking after himself in the jungle. We'll be mostly focused on getting farm in the jungle. They may or may not try and gank Trixie, but in all honesty, Shadow Fiend should be able to handle Trixie. If he can't handle Trixie, then he's probably doing something a little bit wrong there. He's going to have a fairly easy time against the Tidehunter. And there we go, Keeper heading out now. We'll probably skill Illuminate in just a second. He's going to use that to try and pick up the level 2. And if he really runs into trouble, which he could well, because of course you've got Hanny who can close the distance with Sprint quite easily, and if he steps out of position, Glimpse is very, very effective, as is the Kinetic Field. They will have to watch out for that, but that's it. The middle lane, likely to be where the clash starts. I like this ward here from the Radiant side. They're putting it uphill, mostly. So they get like, oh, high ground vision, so they can see what the hell's going on. There's the Ice Path guy, doesn't hit anything though, but it's mostly so Chaos Knight can reality rift someone down the hill, catch them out unexpectedly. You see a support, they will be dancing back and forth, thinking, you know what, they can't see it, and then just bam, drag them down to an ice path. Painful stuff. More Trixie's going to be taking that bottom lane. The Wisp just getting ready to stack. Will stack that camp successfully. Probably going to start pulling in a second. Now Disruptor, yeah, he's feeling fairly poor. Has spent most of his gold there on support items. Error now dodging the ice path once again. Fishbone not quite managing to land it. Error 4 and 5 and 1 actually, doing quite well for himself. Chaos on the other hand struggling a bit to get the last. It's in 2 and 1 at the moment. You see the counter ward, they expected that. They said, you know what, probably somebody gave it away by firing uphill a couple of times. There's the 2 second stun. Ice Path coming, gonna catch out Fly. Fly's in trouble, disrupts himself. Can they pick out the right one here? No, they can't. He cannot get away. They say, you know what, let's not even bother. Let's just carpet bomb the area with a dual breath. That'll sort out the issues of targeting the right hero. There we go, Mini now, you're going to harass Trixie with some Guardian Orbs. You get 4 out of 5, not bad there. Meanwhile, the bottle should be arriving here for Fnatic. Arrow going to pick up his bottle. So while he gives away the first blood, at the very least, he is buying time. Shadow Demon did buy a bit of time for Arrow to get a bit of farm. He has managed to pick up his early bottle, and he should be okay now. Shadow Demon wants to head off and pull for a couple of waves and just let Error pick up a few levels. Especially while Jakiro, while his spells are a low level. Now is the time to go and do that. Once he levels up the high level and dual breath, things are going to be a little bit messy. There we go, they're going to try and pick up Wagamama now. And now he's getting a glimpse back. Oh no, he's just going to get caught straight up in the kinetic field. There we go, Slider landing a stun. And Wagamama likely to get taken out here. Do we have a glimpse yet? No, we don't. But there we go, No Tail just viewing the body blocks there. He will have to take the heal. He was trying to feed it to Hanny. But unfortunately, Keeper managed to slip through there. He has actually, well, he hasn't gone for early roots actually. Just managing to outrun Mini there regardless. Mini has gone for 2 in Crush, 1 in Sprint. We'll see if he goes for, no, he doesn't go for the level 4 bash. Decides, you know what, I'm going to get 2 levels in Sprint. And players are somewhat divided in this. Some go for the level 4 bash, some go for the second level in Sprint level 4. Arrow though, taking some damage, will back up. Poppy's Refract. Tidehunter on the other hand, just trying to jack a creep. Being harassed here by the creep right about now. Mini though, unable to get an opening there.
No. Denied.
Aaron out finds himself a double damage rune. Meanwhile, Slider up in the top lane, 15 and 5. As Shadow Fiend gets the kill in the bottom lane, they do pick off the Tidehunter. Unfortunately, just sat a little bit too far back there. He knocked out by a long range Shadow Rays. And now Templar Assassin also being picked off in the mid as Keeper of the Light shows up. This is going to do a bit of a drive-by, refill some mana, and then head back to his lane. No-Tail now looking for the 4-minute rune top. The bottom room being camped there by the Shadow Demon. No-Tail now should be able to get it. No, it goes to the bottom. Shadow Fiend finds himself, rather Shadow Demon, not Shadow Fiend. Shadow Demon finds himself a hater and he's going to head bottom, see if he can set up a kill here. Trixie's got a fair amount of health, level 2 Gush, level 2 Anchor Smash. And I'm going to say, Shadow Fiend here looking kind of squishy. They could gun for this, although Shadow Demon sort of stalling for a bit, wasting time. There we go, he's going to see him. Is he going to disrupt him? Or he could just run away in the wrong direction. Where are you going, Shadow Demon? And there's that Wisp coming with a tether. However, it doesn't matter. They pick up the kill. Shadow Demon getting last hit there. There's Disrupt. Going to throw in. Oh man, the Soul Catcher as well. That's a lot of damage here. You see Trixie landing an Anchor Smash in the middle of that painful stuff indeed. And of course, Wisp, not a lot of armor to boot as well. 0 armor, in fact. Not a lot of fun for him getting hit by physical damage. Shout out to Karlikov, by the way, in the chat there. There we go. Aaron now getting taken back by the Reality Rift. Fishbone, though, not in position to catch him out. Plus the tower also attacking Chaos Knight there. Now putting pressure on Aaron now. Aaron now 15 and 6. Chaos Knight finding some room to catch up. 16 and 6 now. Does manage to catch up himself. Both of them are a little bit behind in terms of farm. Neither are getting the desired amount of farm they want, but at the same time, it could be a lot worse. And there we go. Wagamama's transitioned the jungle, said, you know what? My lane's too high. I'm not going to be able to handle this. Kinetic Field, especially since he has to stand still, and it just buys time for Kinetic Field to catch him out there. As well as Glimpse. In fact, Disrupted didn't even need to use Glimpse in that last fight there. Chaos Knight has picked up his Bottle Embrace, so liked him building his Drums of Endurance. There we go, Reality Rift him once again, disrupts himself, good save there by Shadow Demon. The Ice Path is completely wasted, and Illuminate comes through on a 3-second stun as well. Wagamama shows up, and it looks like that Shadow Poison might ticken up. No, it won't. He bottles up. He should be okay. Another Illuminate coming through. Going to hit Arrow. 30 short. Oh, actually, no, it's only level 1. Now Trixie teleporting in. Unfortunately, too late to turn any tides there. And Shadow Fiend being allowed to catch up on his farm down in the bottom lane. 26 and 9 at the moment. Has decided to go for early phase boots. Interesting decision there. Often we see treads on the Shadow Fiend. You see Mini has picked up his roots, has also got a ward him. Jakiro, though, doing the bulk of the warding at the moment. In fact, I think that might be an item for Mini. It's a bottle coming out. Looks like Shadow Fiend is shuttling a bottle back and forth at the moment. And Arrow have to play this one fairly defensively. 3 heroes in the mid. He's definitely wary. Wagamama is sitting up on this opposite cliff. They don't have vision to him. They can't see what he's up to. I think he's just very wary of an Illuminate coming screaming through and catching him out while his refraction is down. Wagamama, though, just stacking. Going to be stacking and then nuking down those camps just to catch up on EXP. And there we go. Now Mini getting his farm on. He has managed to stack up these camps here. Is I hear an Illuminate? No, okay, he's just farming that camp there. Oh, Shadow Demon just doing a little bit of counter warding for his team. Where is Trixie headed off to? Trixie actually hiding. And it looks like he might actually pick off Mini here. Mini, though, will tether just to get a bit of speed here. I thought he was going to save the tether to jump to Shadow Fiend here. Looks like he will back off successfully, though. Hanny now has opened up with a fast Vanguard. Something we see the Chinese teams do every now and then. It's just to bulk him up a bit. So Ice Path and Dual Breath just going to harass Hanny a little bit, but he's got enough health to tank it. Should be able to regen up nicely. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Chaos Knight barely escaping there, almost getting picked off. Possible gank down in the bottom lane there as we see Trixie now going fairly deep, although he might actually go after Hanny. Throws down the Gush. The stun, though, in the middle of the creep wave under the tower. The raise is to finish, and Shadow Fiend will get the kill. Fortunately, Tidehunter just being a little bit too aggressive there. You see the traps being thrown down by Templar Assassin, both sides of the hill. To catch people out. Meanwhile, top lane, again, Keeper of the Light returns to the top lane and gets picked off once again. 3 heroes converging on mid. Chaos Knight, just be careful, doesn't have any health left in his bottle, and they could actually gun for a kill here. We see the Paw coming, they're thinking about it for sure. And Wisp actually going to take Chaos Knight possibly back to the fountain. Not dead sure. No, he goes to the top lane. They're going to get a kill here. Hanny now into trouble. No Disrupt save there, and he will need to back up. This is what I mean about taking the heat off. There's the nuke there from Disruptor as well. Can they save him? Kinetic Field pops in half. The teleport back to mid. Are they in position? 2 seconds done there. An error. Ice Path as well. Reality ripped across. What a sense of timing there. Or rather, just, I'm going to say actually pure luck from Mini. That teleport coming back at the right moment to pick him off. And Error probably somewhat annoyed. The gank on top, bailing, backfiring horribly, barely escaping, and then somehow still picking up a kill. Wagamama now about to get caught out. He's going to get boxed into here. He's going to charge up an Illuminate. Actually, Hanny needs to be careful. However, there's the cancel there with the stun. Was going to sprint and Illuminate. Was not going to mix all that nicely. See, Hanny's going to had to go back to base to heal up. Wisp, ult not up for 30 seconds. I'll probably end up teleporting out in a second. In fact, they're just going to run out here. They could try and pick up a kill. Shadow Demon looking very vulnerable here at the moment. To be where the next kill is, as I see Counterwall being thrown in there by Fishbone. And unfortunately, this spots up Counterstone Wisp, and now Shadow Demon is going to back off. Wary of being ganked there. Meanwhile, Error, though, being given time to farm once again. Still hasn't got that much, though. 31 and 10. It's been a bit of a struggle and fight. You see Chaos on a similar footing, 30 and 9. As for the guys who are actually dedicating their time to farm, 48 and 12 there for Slardar, 60 and 10 for the Shadow Fiend. Now they're going to try and pick off Shadow Fiend, though, going to find himself a regeneration rune. Can they get the damage in, though? Get slowed down there by Error. Error now moving in. Can they get the kill here? And Trixie, a stun in from Hanny. Hanny going to help him pick up the kill. Illuminate comes through, doing no damage to Error. The Refract going to take care of that. They're going to try and back up a glimpse back down. Chaos Knight into Disruptor's ultimate. Great glimpse. Really good timing. In the middle of a kinetic field and his ult. No escape there for Chaos Knight, and a really good pick off. Fnatic converging nicely there on Pulse, forming up a very good counter attack. Mini now, moving out of the town, might regret this. Trixie taking his damage, however, Mini will need to back up here, being slowed. A second slow being thrown in as well. Tethering away, though. Managing to get some distance in between himself and Error. Error still only having 1 level in Cyblades. And an interesting choice here. They've gone for 2... I've just noticed they've gone for 2 couriers, and you might ask, why did they go for 2 couriers? Not just to show off the 2 courier skits. This is something I saw first in Filipino Dota, actually. What they do is they have two crows, and one crow is purely for bottle whoring, nothing more than that. They ferry the bottle back and forth non-stop on one of the crows. It's actually, there we go. Shadow Fiend is in fact abusing this non-stop. There we go. See, he's shuttling it back and forth non-stop. Also bringing himself out an Ogre Club as well. Now Error going to try and hold this off. Has got a really well-placed ward there. Ravage is down though. Titan has blown there to Gush. Ice Path catches up. Illuminate as well. Reality Rip. Dual Breath in on top of that. They get the... oh no. Templar Assassin though. Manages to get a deny. However, will they lose a second kill here? And they might actually gun for one. Ice Path gets thrown down. There's a stun from Slardar. Slardar now Macro Pie gets caught inside a Macro Pie. Stunned inside it as well as an Illuminate going through there. It's a glimpse of back. It disrupts Soul Chaos, trying to disengage it. Will manage to back up. Soul Catcher though, going to do a lot of damage. Reality ripped in again. Disruptor gets picked up. Ice Path doesn't quite hit Fly. And Fly will get away. And Illuminate though, just missing the both of them. Keep it light. It is a level 3 Illuminate. That could have taken them out for sure. Now let's have a look at GPMs. 400 gold per minute for the Shadow Fiend, 300 for the Chaos Knight. I think this is an issue. Slardar was meant to get Honey was meant to get a fair amount of early farm with Slardar, and he's only on 282, so this could be somewhat of an issue for them. You see there is a 4k lead currently to the Radiant side in terms of gold. You see Trixie about to get picked off again. An easy kill there. Wisp and Chaos Knight, of course, doing their thing. Around about a 3k experience lead as well at the moment for the Radiant side. Chaos Knight hitting hard. There's that Ogre Club on Shadow Fiend. Has also picked up the recipe for the Black King bar. Slardar now needs that Blink Dagger to help them initiate. But right now they're just getting picked off by Chaos Knight and Wisp too easily. Just coming out of nowhere and jumping people. Illuminate through on the top lane. that they're going to work on knocking this tower for some early money, although Titan is going to have none of that. He's going to come to the top. Has picked up an Urn of Shadows. Actually, Fishbone could be in some trouble here. And there we go, 4-man gank, 4v2, 5v2 in fact, there's a point as well. Hanny gets caught out, Ravage gets popped as well. Wagamama now into trouble, but here comes Chaos Knight. Can they get a counter attack here? Oh, the ult there from Disruptor, great placement with a kinetic field. Down goes to keep it alive. They're going to get Wisp as well. A stun there from Hanny, a slow from Templar Assassin, not even needed. And they get the denying as well. Great play there from Fnatic. Great counter gank and a really good solid deny. They lost 3 heroes in the process. However, they took 4 and forced a buyback there from Hanny. She's going to delay his BKB somewhat. Shadowfiend just getting his farm happening. That said, though, great series of play there from Fnatic. However, they are still behind and do need to be careful about catching up. And mostly getting that farm on that Slatter, because he is definitely going to be needed in the mid game with his items. Doesn't want to be taking too long to get that Blink Dagger or BKB even. Especially against his team, he could definitely do with some BKBs. I like these ward placements, or rather Sonic Trap placements from Era. Just being thrown down preemptively to defend himself if he gets ganked. See Fly? No, just doing a lot of warding there. Where's Mini? Mini, there we go. Has picked up his Urn of Shadows. Shakira, on the other hand, yeah, mostly just wards at this point in time. And now this is nice. Rotating the supports around. This is going to give time for Shakira to get his farm happening. And it's going to give, of course, Wisp time with Chaos Knight to go and gank as well. Here we go. Early Roshan attempt, though. Do the rating have much of an idea it's happening? Doesn't look like it. And they're just going to use the negative armor here. Error, of course, with his Meld, throwing the Gush, the amp damage there from Slater. You see there a lot of negative armor on Roshan. And he's going to melt fairly quickly. And there's a very large stack of Ancients there. The Radiant side. The question is, can the Dire jack that before the Radiant gets their hands on it? There we go. Yet another stack being formed. They can, although they may not have actually stacked properly.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I'm not dead sure there. Meanwhile, we've got Shadowfiend headed back towards the bottom lane. Just going to continue farming on the other hand. An offensive ward being thrown up there by the Radiant side, spotting out what Fnatic are up to. Seeing 3 of them head to the top lane. This will let Wisp and Chaos Knight know that they should probably not make themselves known in the lane. There we go. A pause for a second. Era now. Still working towards that Blink Dagger, has picked up power, interestingly enough, going for Power Jets over the Phase Boots. Phase Boots, very common item on Templar Assassin, mostly just to give her that mobility during a fight. The speed is really nice. Also, the early damage is also not a bad thing either. We got Chaos Knight and Wisp just going to share a bit of jungle there. And Wisp is orbed up. This could possibly mean a teleport gank in a second. They might go after mid. Templar Assassin is sitting there. Or they might try... Oh, they've got wards up in the jungle. They're thinking about picking up No-Tail here. And there we go. They're porting in. No, they're heading towards Shadow Demon. Can they get a Reality Rift back there? Here comes a stun. 2 seconds. A slow in there from Templar Assassin. Disruption there from Shadow Demon. They might have tried to pick up the wrong guy. Have a Wisp who's going to get the kill. There's a Disrupt as well. Trying to pick up count at the kinetic wall. A little bit too slow. Wisp now heads back to the top lane with a teleport. Slow there on Chaos Knight. Chaos Knight, they're very, very swift. He's got no mana left for spells. There we go. He's got enough for a stun. Now pops his magic wand. He's still trying to get back here. Another slime from Templar Assassin. Wisp comes in. Ice Path as well for the save. And a tether there to try and speed up Chaos Knight. We see a Macro Path thrown in for good measure. Dual Breath as well. A 3-second stun there on Hanny. Illusion. Oh, Illuminate as well. Ice Path. They're going for the counter attack here. Hanny now trying to get the kill. Throws down a Slithering Crush. They're going to get the kill. Ravage gets popped in. Shadowfiend gets missed though. He's getting ready. Can he get the kill in here? We've got the respawn here from Templar Assassin. Should be up in a second. Shadowfiend though pops his ult and cleans up Templar Assassin. In fact, sorry, it's Hanny who's going to pop back up there in a second. See Slater now just running away for his life. Mama though, being spotted up by the amp damage, mostly just to tell Slider where he's going and what he might be up to. Disruption there. On who is that? Chaos Knight. Chaos Knight likely to get taken out here. Illuminate comes through. Yeah, there are too many heroes fighting him there. For everyone, just roll. Glimpse. Great glimpse on Jakiro. Jakiro now needs to turn around. He's going to Ice Path in a second if he can. Ice Path coming out. Wolf managed to catch 2 heroes. There we go. Shadow Demon gets caught out as well. They get rid of Disruptor as well. And Pulse are on fire at the moment. Trixie now trying to run. Can he get away here? He's too slow, I think. He's going to throw it in the Anchor Smash. And there we go. Blinding Light. Great play. They're knocking him back into the tether. Ice Path thrown in for good measure. And Pulse, they're on the ball tonight. They're going to take a whole bunch of hero kills. They're going to take a tower as well. And a great series of play coming out there from there. And there's some slight missteps there from Fnatic. See Wisp and Chaos Knight just rearming there in the fountain. They'll head back to the top lane in a second. And basically they're hoping someone's going to push up here. And they'll sweep out and jump them. That'll push up through here and again sweep out and jump them. Or they could just go and kill mid. I mean, that's also definitely viable. As did the Reality Rift, they get the tether stun down. Can we see a tower spot in a second? I think he's already tossed it. He's already tossed it. And they get the kill there. The attack's been dire. Glimpse back though. Going to catch out Chaos Knight. Chaos Knight caught inside that ultimate there. Kinetic field as well. Anchor Smash incoming. They get the kill. Illuminate comes through. Now flying some serious trouble there. He's been hit there by the Manly. Can he get away? A couple of razors would finish him. A blink in there from Hanny. Hanny now with the stun. Hanny now running back. Good counter attack there from Fnatic. However, they did lose one of the number again to Pulse. See Jakiro now headed back with Wiz. No, he's changed his mind. He's going to be headed back to just do some warning, I think, maybe. No, he's just scanning things out at the moment. He's going to head back to mid and just farm up. Meanwhile, Observer Ward up the top, being spot up by the Dire. Some Cannonballs being thrown down by, or rather, yeah, some Cannonballs being thrown down by the Radiant just to get rid of Dire line of sight. I'm just wondering if that ward there is visible. It might be or it might not be. We'll see. There we go. Wisp Illusion is going to spot it, or not. Meanwhile, smoke up there from Fnatic. Trixie now. Does he have Ravage up? Yes, he does. This could be what they need to seal the deal in the fight. See preemptive wards being thrown up there by Arrow, hoping someone's either going to push up or they're going to chase after them during a fallback. We go fought into mid. See, Keeper of Light is still farming the jungle. No, okay, no, he's just gone back to nuking down the mid lane and just pushing it back. It's an illusion there. Shadow Fiend's in the mid lane farming. Chaos Knight, on the other hand, on his lonesome up on the top lane. Might actually get picked out here. Slider's headed top. Slider now sitting on 900 gold. I think we're possibly going to see Boots finished and then a BKB, or even just a BKB, and then he might shot the Boots after. There we go. Slider messing it up though. Stunning before blinking. Not the best of ways to combo that. And now that's going to buy time there for Reality Rift there from Chaos Knight. A 4-second stun as well for Chaos Bolt. Oh, Hanny, what did you do? Keyed up the wrong buttons. Now Wiz porting forwards there with Chaos Knight. Reality Rift disrupt safe though. Reality Rift instead on the Disruptor himself. And a 3-second stun to boot there on Shadow Demon. Likely to take out. There we go. There's the Illuminate as well. And things are looking problematic. Let's look at the gold. It's now a 12k plus lead there for the Radiant side. Experience-wise, a 15k plus lead as well. As they get the kill there. The Templar Assassin gets the kill there on Jakiro. Jakiro, they're actually having enough money to buy back. Unfortunately, Templar Assassin also being picked off as well. And Shadowfiend now building a Daedalus. Says, you know, I just want the Ashe. I'm not going to bother with the Manta Style. Chaos Knight up top lane again, picks up his armor. Then we're going to see, no, just a nuke there from Notel. And there we go, we got Chaos Knight moving, it throws out a 2 second stun there. Whistler also caught inside that kinetic field. There's a Ravage get thrown out, Illuminate comes through though, gonna force Trixie back. His job is done though, he's set up this fight. Chaos Knight trying to retreat, a glimpse back, disruption there as well. We've got Fly there, needs to be careful. Here comes Shadow Fiend, can he drop? No, his ult's on cooldown. Backing up, BKB's been popped, Illuminate comes through once again. And they've taken 3 heroes in the process. They're taking a lot of damage. Do they have a mech?
Top tower is under attack.
Fortunately, Pulse, they lack a mech, so pushing this fight is going to be risky and probably extremely dangerous for them.
Dire's top
A
tower
couple of buybacks there. Fnatic are calling out GG. He says go next. Yeah, okay, there we go. Fnatic, they are calling go next. They call the GG, and yeah, it is pretty much done. It seemed like,
Dire's top tower.
it looks like Fnatic Notel was actually asking permission to call the GG.
Top barracks are under attack.
But no, this is definitely very much over. Unfortunately, that Chaos Knight and Wisp, I really feel like they should have banned it. Chaos Knight and Wisp caused so much trouble during the mid game. I'm going to say Fnatic, they had a fairly decent early game. Templar Assassin stayed on par. The only thing that really went wrong, I feel, is the fact that mostly Chaos, rather the Slaughter did not get disarmed as they wanted. Not the Chaos, sorry, the Slaughter, what am I saying, did not get disarmed as they wanted. You see here the last hits, Slaughter semi-CS versus 177. Shadow Fiend just had so much more room to farm. They could have put more pressure on the bottom, but Slaughter just could not gank as hard as Chaos Knight and Wisp could, and in the end, it just built Pulse a snowball of a lead just to take control of the match and continually crush them out. But that said, guys, it is only game 1 of best of 3 series. This could quite easily go to 3. We'll see. Stay tuned. I have got game number 3 coming up in just a moment.